Hi, I'm Jules T and welcome back to the Jules T Talk channel. Today I want to share about a book that I recently read. The name is Richer, Wiser and Happier. I love this book so much because William Green shares about the conversations he had with one of the famous global investors around the world, namely Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. These are the top two investors that one should know if you are in the world of investing. I'm Jules T and I'm here to share with you on communication and leadership. Nevertheless, why do I go into investment? I've always believed that even though we are in employment, whatever we earn, we should always know how to invest. Financial literacy is very important to make sure that what we earn, we know how to invest it with, and not just spend the money in a way that at the end of the day when you retire, you will have nothing left. And secondly, I think that understanding financial literacy is important, especially reading annual reports so that we know what happens in the world. A lot of times we read newspapers, but sometimes it focuses a lot on gossip or tragedies, and you really don't know what is happening around the world. I believe that annual reports are one of the best windows into the world, and I believe as a leader of any organization, one should really know what is happening in other industries as well. Let's get on to it. So Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, they are legendary investing partners who built together Berkshire Hathaway into a giant company worth $900 billion. Charlie Munger, how he learns how to invest or what to invest, he basically just observes successful people. He observes what works and what doesn't work. He says that he actually learns more from dead people. I couldn't agree more, because dead people, they have gone through years of experience. They have written down what they have learned best, and they're sharing their best practices with us. Why do you want to create something from scratch when you can actually adopt the best ideas from other people? So to speak, plagiarize. The best way to succeed is to borrow other people's idea. Be a copycat. There's no problem with it. Copy the best ideas and then adapt to your own style. I think that is the best way to carry yourself, to grow yourself into a better person. I don't believe in trying to dream up a completely new idea, because I think that's wasting a lot of your own time when you can actually tap on what is already there in the world. 3 tips that Charlie Munger shared. Number 1, he's not there to earn a lot of money because he has a lot of money. He's there to win the game. He loves the thrill of being right in the game. And number 2, he's a copycat, like what we mentioned in the previous slide. Everything that he does is clone. He has no original ideas. So if you see something or somebody who is very smart, you force yourself to adopt the things that he do, because you know you have a very high chance of winning it. And he loves to play games that he know he can win. Imagine you are in the world of sports, and there are many types of sports. You have swimming, you have bowling, you have running. And if you're really good at running, why would you do something like swimming if you're not good at it? So the trick is to find what you're good at and be very good at it. Find the best tricks how to run faster. Find the best technique how to run faster, because you're already good at it. So find the things that will help you be better in what you do, and you find that you will do very well in it. And that is basically what Charlie Munger does. Next is Warren Buffett. He says, he has 4 things that he wants to say. You don't have to swing at everything. You can wait for your pitch. He's a very, very patient guy. You see that he bought almost nothing from 1970 to 1972. That is 3 years of waiting, patiently waiting. And finally, in 1973, when the stock market crashed, he then bought Washington Post for a fraction of the price, and he owns a lot of shares in it for 4 decades. So imagine what a great deal that he got from just waiting. And number 3 is to hang out with people who are better than you so that you cannot help but improve. In the past, I always loved to hang out with people who are worse than me because it makes me feel good because I'm like the best in the team. But I realized that now I need to find people who are better than me because then I can make myself better. What I learned from Pabrai, another investor, is that he actually hangs out with Charlie Munger, and he hangs out with Charlie Munger's friends, and then he gets Charlie Munger friends to be his friends. So he knows Charlie Munger has already filtered out the best people to hang out with, and now he has gotten himself a really good bunch of friends just by befriending a good person. It is actually a shortcut on how to surround yourself with great people. Measure yourself by an inner scorecard. That means living up to your own standards. I've always thought that I like to be popular, I like to do fun things, hang out with great and fun, crazy people. That was my immature self. But now that I realize that what's your own scorecard? You want to be more educated about the world, then read more annual reports, spend more time at home reading instead of going out to the shopping malls. You must have your own inner scorecard that you want to measure up yourself to. Don't do things based on other people's expectations. Warren's 4 commandments. Invest in a company that falls in your circle of competence. Only if you understand it, then you know what you're doing. Like he loves to drink cherry Coke, so he invests in Coke because when he looked into that business, it makes a lot of sense. He understands how beverages are made. Company financial statements should be clear and simple. If you see something that's not right, something that does not make sense, the way they use their money, then you have to be suspicious. So learning how to read financial statements is really important. So get yourself educated to understand how your company works. And the third thing is to buy an investment with a large enough discount that provides a margin of safety. You only want to go into a company where it's selling below the intrinsic value and it's a good business model. That's when you are getting yourself the margin of safety. In case the stock price drops, you still have a level of safety, your money is protected. And the fourth thing is to make sure that the company has durable competitive advantage that is run by a capable CEO. You don't want somebody who simply flaunts the money in the company and you are unsure how they're using the money. You need to make sure the foundation of this company is good. The next thing is attitude. One of the examples that was shared was Lao Tzu, the Taoist philosopher. I believe in this philosophy too, that to be strong, you have to be like water. If the vessel is round, the water has to be round shape. If the vessel is square, then the water has to be in the shape of a square. So adjust yourself based on your situation. It is a strength to be like water. It's a strength to be adaptable, and that is a very important trait in any organization. Another sharing from Howard Marks is to avoid a lot of debt and leverage. I've seen people borrowing money just to invest, and when the stocks fall like crazy and they owe the bank so much money, it's better to focus on building unfragile portfolios and unfragile lives that are unlikely to collapse even in dire conditions. You want to sleep well, don't you? Another thing that he shared, that what you accomplish in life is not the only important thing, but how you accomplish it, by not stepping on other people, but by helping others to succeed, you succeed too. The next thing is financial independence, and I always believe women should always be financially independent. Marry not for the money, marry the man because you love the man, and be financially independent yourself. Financial independence is about spending less than you make and living within your means, so that you know that you are not the limit. Because if you continue to spend beyond what you can earn, that is not financial independence. Jean-Marie Evelet believes that we should always keep enough cash in reserves because these stocks might be low in value at the moment and it's not a good time to sell. Always have spare cash, always have emergency cash with you, and also have enough cash for the moments where there is a drop in the stock and it's a time to buy good stocks. You should never borrow in excess just to invest. I've seen a lot of people that fall into this mistake and they borrow just to invest. When the stock prices fell, they owed the bank a lot of money and they have to sell their car, their house, just to pay for that mistake that they made. The next thing is performance doesn't come from what we buy or sell, it comes from what we hold. So I've learned from experience that I'm not really for trading, because trading is buy, sell on a daily, monthly basis. At the end of the day, the difference that I made is really minimal. I'm now on an investor mindset where I believe in buying in good stocks and just holding them out. So focus on business that has a long runway. Businesses that can triple, quadruple, making 10 times earnings in 20-30 years time. I think that is a really good investment. Habits are really important. Having bad habits like drinking, flirting, being unfaithful in your marriage, or overeating, these are bad habits that look appealing in short term because it brings a lot of excitement. You think that it's a good idea. Life is short, we should enjoy ourselves. And you feel the rush is rewarding sometimes, but at the end of the day, they borrow from the long term, and I don't think that is something that you want to be in when you're old, to be alone where your wife or husband leaves you, or you end up with a terrible body with all sorts of problems and you need to visit the hospital every week. Take care of yourself in the short term right now so that you have a good life in the long term. People underestimate how important habits are, how difficult they are to change when you are 40 or 50 years old. If you love to eat ice cream every day or durians every day, and if you don't control your diet, can you imagine when you reach 40 and 50, you have high cholesterol, and it's so difficult to change that habit because you love it so much. So it's important to form the right good habits when you are young. One of the habits that I want to share with you is from Mahathir Mohamad, our ex-Prime Minister of Malaysia. He has really good eating habits where he eats only up to 80% of what he really needs to eat. Before he feels full, he will stop eating because he doesn't want to overeat and make himself feel bloated. And I think that's a very good eating habit that he carries on to today. That you see him right now, he's still a healthy person and he doesn't really rely on a lot of medicine. That kind of good habit, if you bring to your old age, then you are really living a good life. The next thing is the richest people are those who found something good and held on to it, like holding on to Coke. Warren Buffett still holds Coke after decades because he believes in this company and the company is continuing to make a lot of money for it. So it seems like relationships as well. When you are committed to your partner in your marriage, hold on to that partner of yours rather than looking outside for a new partner to hang on to or chasing the next hot thing, because at the end of the day you end up a really lonely, haggard woman. And people who seem the least happy and the most frenzied are those that are always chasing the next hot thing. Their marriages will not stay for long, and it's really sad to see the family fall apart. There's no good to it. If you are married to somebody, stay committed, because that brings you and your partner to the long runway. Another person that was mentioned in this book was Thomas Gaynor. He said that he was never number one in anything. He was just steady, competent and able. So he was always doing things that he knew works for him, and he was always dependable. He was able to do things over and over that achieves continuity in success. So it keeps you in the game, and his real advantage is really controlling his behavior, and that behavior of his brought a lot of steady and continuous success in his investing style. And lastly, this other person that was mentioned here was Arno van den Berg. He was a Jewish that went through a lot of suffering during the World War II, but somehow he managed to come out from that, and he's one of the best investors in the world. And he says, I'm the richest guy because I'm content with what I have. Basically, I always believe that every morning when you wake up, it's good to reflect on what you have, because you feel wealthier not because you have all the money, but because you've got good health, you've got good friendship, and you've got a great family. And the most important thing that people need is love. When you don't find that love within your relationship, then you tend to go out to look for money, you look for accomplishment, something external to validate yourself. So it's important to maintain that love in your own family, your own spouse, and the people that you love most. So that's what I learned from this book itself, and hope that this sharing is something that you enjoy. And do comment what you learned on this video, and remember to press the like button. So I hope to see you in my next video. Goodbye.